Okay, it looks like we are live with our Thanksgiving special. And we're going to talk about buying made in USA items, specifically clothing. And we'll talk about some other items too. I think this is very important because this is the time when people start doing a lot of shopping. Black Friday is tomorrow, and a lot of people are going to be spending money on goods and services. And I recommend that we buy USA. If you live in the United States of America, that is. I have a lot of followers that are overseas, so buy things that are made in your native country. Support local artisans. Support clothiers that are making clothes locally in your own country. Now, I will also buy some things that are made in England. The Turnbull Asser shirt I have on right now is made in England. This sport coat is made in the USA by fabric that comes from Scotland. It's a Harris Tweed jacket, so the fabric comes from Scotland. This hat, the Stetson hat, was made in these United States of America. So, and I have a whole channel. Allen Edmonds shoes, some of them are made in the United States still. Not all, but some are. I have a whole playlist here on my channel excuse me, of made in USA items that I've done reviews on. And here's the thing, even if you buy used, even if you search out items at thrift stores, on eBay, and you buy items that are made in your native country, you're still supporting that ecosystem. And better yet, you're recycling and reusing things that might still have a lot of useful life left in them, and you're avoiding having to remanufacture those items. And it's very efficient to get the most use possible out of items that are well made and made to last. For example, this jacket, I have these leather patches because I actually wore a hole in one of the sleeves, but the rest of the jacket was still in perfect condition. So I just had these leather patches sewn on. And so I'll get another 10 years, 20 years or whatever use out of the coat. So, and of course, we got some wise-ass people making a comment about the Grand Seiko's not made in the USA. Well, we don't buy everything that's made in the USA, but I'll tell you, we like to buy quality, and we like to buy things that the people that are building them take their time and do it right, and that is Grand Seiko. Let's take a quick look. We're looking at a Grand Seiko with the 9F quartz movement, solid 18-karat gold. And nestled up to it, we've got a DuPont pen. Now, that was made in Paris. That was made in France. And so we don't buy everything that's, at least, I'm here in the U.S. Everything I buy is not made in the U.S., but I try to go out of my way whenever possible to support local businesses. So let me look here. Let me catch up on the comments, and then I'll give you some examples. Evening all, looking nice today, Greg. Oh, thank you. Most Allen Edmonds are still made here. I drive up and ship at the factory store. Shop at the I guess you mean shop at the factory store. Well, good, and do pay attention to that because some may not be made in the U.S. Just make sure the ones you buy are. And by the way, Kenneth Gordon, who makes shirts in the U.S., they were bought out. And let me bring up a picture here. They were bought out by the Gitman Brothers, who make shirts here. And I'm a big fan of Kenneth Gordon shirts. I've been buying them for years, and they do a great job. but they still evidently do make shirts in the U.S., from what I'm told. I know Gitman Brothers does because I just bought 2. So I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I don't even need the shirts. I've probably got 100 shirts, okay? But I still want to support people that make high-quality items. So I went ahead and ordered 2 shirts yesterday, and they should be here on, I think they're coming tomorrow. So I got a little discount there, but 2 shirts were $279. I got point collar, pinpoint with French cuffs. I got size 1633. I don't like the collar to be tight. This one here is 15 and a half, and I can wear it, but I like a skosh more room in the collar. It doesn't look quite as good. It looks better if it's tight, but it's not as comfortable. So I go for the comfort side of things. And of course, you can have them custom made, and then you could have it right in between 15 and a half and 16. So there's that. But so, just to show a little bit of support and to give thanks on Thanksgiving for people that still make quality items in these United States of America and in England and in France and other places. I think it's good to show support occasionally. And so I went ahead and ordered 2 shirts from them, and I ordered them direct from Gitman Brothers. So that way no middleman is in the middle getting money. They get all the money for their employees. They're up in Pennsylvania. They make them there. And we show a little bit of support. Hickey Freeman. I'm a big fan of Hickey Freeman. I have some Hickey Freeman stuff. And so what we'll do, we'll go through some pictures again real quick. We've done this before, but we'll do it again. And then we'll go through some examples of how you can get some of these things on a budget. If you're on a budget, you want to save money. I always like to save money whenever I can. By WeatherTech floor mats for your car, right here. There you go. Best floor mats. Who makes a good pair of USA-made underwear? That's a good question. That is a good question. I'm sure somebody does. So, let's start with some big stuff, though. By the way, I'm pulling a little trick here. Notice on this side, I've got the barrel collar showing, right? On this side, there is no barrel cuff, collar, cuff. Because I'm wearing this Grand Seiko diver, and of course it would not eloquently slip under a cuff, so I've just got this side folded up. You can do that. There are no rules here, folks. Do what you like. Do what feels comfortable. And don't worry about what the other people think. That's their problem, what they think. So there you go. All right. So let me pull these up. Pull these photos up. And we'll talk about a few specifics. And then we'll get into how you can get these items, how you can do it smart. Okay? How you can do it smart. So this is the section I've shown you before of my what I call quality clothing brands and accessories. And again, all these are not made in the U.S. A lot of them are. And so that sport coat there, you don't see hanging inside it are a pair of Bill's khakis. Those are made in the U.S. And I'll go right on through. This is H. Freeman and Sons out of Philadelphia. Made this jacket. Okay. This one's Power and Goods. And again, it's Harris Tweed, but it was made in the U.S. This is Cashmere. And there you go. Those folks there made it. Okay, so you can go to this set, and I'll put a link in the description, and you can get all the label names. Corbin Limited, they made a lot of things in the U.S. I don't know that they still do now. Some of these may be transitioning, so you got to pay attention. The labels, there'll be a secondary label that will say, like, Made in USA. there's another one. You can see who made that. Oritsky of Reading, Pennsylvania. Again, Georgetown University shop. I used to buy a lot of things at the Georgetown University shop. And there's a camel hair sport coat. Now, this one's made in England, okay? So that's okay. You can buy some stuff made in England. And this one was made in, I believe, Scotland, Donegal, okay? Ireland, I'm sorry. Ireland, okay? And this one came from a store in Cape Cod. It was tailored in the USA. This Sandhurst by Neiman Marcus was tailored in the USA. Here's another Harris Tweed from Lord & Taylor. I used to shop at Lord & Taylor a lot. They were right nearby. I think they're closed, out of business now, I believe. I'm not sure. Georgetown University shop again. Like I said, I bought a lot of clothes from them. Sulka & Company. There's another company, Nordstrom. And Kenneth Gordon. Remember, I'm a big fan of Kenneth Gordon. A lot of their stuff is made in the USA. Keep that name in mind when we're gonna talk about this. Saks Fifth Avenue. Notice it says tailored in the USA at the top. Some of those Nordstrom shirts are not, so you got to be careful about them. Money. Okay. Look at these items. Aren't those nice? And there's some Bill's khakis. Now that belt did come from Australia. I picked up a couple of belts from Australia. Crocodile. But you see, made in USA, Reading, Pennsylvania. Now, I don't know that all the Bill's khakis now are still made in USA. I think some of them are, but you can buy them, and we're going to talk about this. You can buy them easily on eBay. Those jeans were made in the U.S. I don't know where this coat was tailored. I think it was tailored in the USA. This one not. This one was made overseas. I believe that was made in England or somewhere. Anyway. That Burberry, of course, was made in England. Those boots were made in these United States. Lucchese, Crocodile, custom. Those boots I've since sold. Those were made by Nakoma. Those were also made in the U.S. Those were, that leather was, I was told, was from sea turtles or something like that. And then there you go, Crocodile. Those Limer boots, mountain climbing boots, I had custom made for me many years ago, and those were made in these United States. You can still buy them. Limer and Sons will still custom make boots. There's about at least a 6-month waiting list to get on the waiting list. Those were made in Maine. That worsted coat was made in Great Britain. Okay. Okay. And there's a U.S. Wings bomber jacket that was made in these United States out of kangaroo leather, imported kangaroo leather. And there's another flight jacket, shearling, that was made in the U.S. Notice the president bracelet there. Okay, and a lot of those items I have on, the same hat I have on now, the shirt, the tie were made in the U.S., not the coat, not the Burberry. There's a Turnbull Asser shirt I have on right now, made in England. There's another coat, Hart, Schaffner, and Marx. So again, you can see all these brands in this photo set. So you don't have to write all this stuff down right now. Polo University Club. All right, so I think you get the idea. There's Hickey Freeman. That's a Cashmere sport coat. I love that coat. All right, gold DuPonts, gold stuff. There's Nordstrom. Now that one's made in Malaysia. Now that Kenneth Gordon, it not only is made in the USA, but it's also linen and cotton. Their heirloom edition. Good stuff. Of course, those Gucci's were made not. There's the coat, the worsted coat. Averex, made in USA. I think you get the idea. All right. So let's get out of this. So now let's talk about how you can get a deal. How you can get a deal Eric took off, got to run. Family is calling. Happy Thanksgiving, Craig, and all his followers, including the chip-eating trolls. Absolutely. Happy Thanksgiving, Craig. Going to Thanksgiving brunch meal soon. There you go. Craig, what about a good USA-made wristwatch? That's a good question. Years ago, there were some. I don't know about now. I think most of them that claim they're made in USA, and I'm not sure how much of them are made in the USA, but anyway, that's the thing. I have a pair of Luke Casey cowboy boots, awesome quality. Yeah, and they're the only ones that fit me. I had those made, and they really fit well. I have two pairs now. I have a pair of ostrich ones and the croc, and they both fit great. Rocking that bow tie. Well, there you go. All right, so here's the deal. So if you want to buy these things, the good news is a lot of people that buy high-end clothing buy more than they need. And some of them take very good care of the clothing. And so as a consequence, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes you get lucky at a place like a Goodwill or whatever, where somebody will donate a good amount of clothing. They'll go through their closet or whatever, and they'll grab things they've never worn for years or whatever, and, they just never really liked. It was a gift or whatever. For whatever reason, they didn't use it much. And they'll just donate a bunch of stuff, especially this time of the year, towards the end of the year. They're getting ready to do their taxes and all that stuff, and maybe they want to do a bunch of donations, and they want to take a carload of stuff to the Goodwill. And sometimes you will get lucky, and the person that's donating all that stuff, it fits you, like it was made for you. And so you can get a real good deal on a bunch of sport coats, a couple of suits, maybe some shirts. You can really get a jump start to your wardrobe that way. And a lot of people that are shopping at those places are clueless. They have no idea what the really good stuff is. Now, you've got an inside track now because you've got access to all those photos I just showed you with all the labels and the brand names and the things that you want to look at. And once you, a Rolex, absolutely. And once you get the hang of it, you'll be able to find some really good stuff. So let's do an example. I'm just going to go to, I'm going to go to eBay. I'm just going to do a search here, and then I'll share the screen once I do a search here. I'm going to do Kenneth Gordon. Shirt, and I'm going to say USA. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and share the screen. What the heck? All right. So I just did a quick Kenneth Gordon search, shirt, USA, right? And let's see what we can find here that might be interesting. Okay. I'm not big on a paisley, but that would look good with some khakis. But let's find something a little more useful. That's interesting. A Kenneth Gordon with two front pockets. I've never seen one of those. Now here's, see, that's a little bit pricey. Here's a Kenneth Gordon long sleeve, black with white stripes. But it looks like it's in pretty much mint condition. Find something a little more affordable. Here's a spread collar. I'm not a big fan of the spread collars, although that's kind of what I'm wearing now. I usually wear a point collar. But there's one, $11.99. Buy it now. I wonder if that is free shipping. Let's take a look. We're just experimenting here, folks. We're not doing anything rash. We're just experimenting. Okay, $5.50 shipping. Great shape. Okay, so let's look and see what the pictures look like here. French cuff. It looks like it might be pretty good. And, you know, you might find a seller that does this sort of thing, that they go and they find this stuff, right, at thrift stores and various places. And you might get a relationship going with somebody like that and have them let you know when they get stuff your size. You might be able to do some direct deals with them and you know, go around eBay. Get some even better deals. Okay, so here's one. Here's another one. We're just doing a little bit of browsing here, folks. I'm just giving you an example. That shirt's a little bit ugly. I think we'd probably pass on that one. Let's see what else we can find. That's a nice shirt. Nice conservative collar on it. Oh, $75. Oh, it's brand new. Okay. Yeah, considering it's brand new, that's not terrible. And it's or best offer notice. Here's one, $15. Here's another one for $15. And again, you want to make sure that you get, if you're going to pay that kind of money used, you want to make sure it's in really good shape, right? You have to contact the seller and just make sure. But we're seeing a lot of examples here. This one says it's brand new, free shipping, $34.99. Okay, so you could go and you could buy a so-so shirt, right, for $35, you know, at Joseph A. Banks or something like that. You could buy something, you know, made in China or wherever that would be okay. But now here you got a brand new Kenneth Gordon shirt that's made in these United States that retails probably $200, and you buy it for $34.99 shipped. And you can even make an offer on it. Of course, that would have to be your size, but you know. And here's the thing. What you do is you search on eBay, and then you can save the search. So if I go back, let me go back to that search. Whoops, I'm sorry. Went back too far. Okay, so here's the search. See, I'm not going to do it right now, but I could click Save This Search right here. I could click that little heart and save the search. And then eBay will let me know when new stuff comes in that matches my criteria. So I would have put in Kenneth Gordon and I'd put my size. I'd put like 1633, right? And so I'd save that specific search so that I'm going to get an alert when that item comes up. Okay, so all right, so I had some better made barbecue chips this morning. There you go. Are the trolls eating potato chips on Thanksgiving? I don't know, but they're busy because there's only 10 people watching. So I didn't figure that many people would watch on Thanksgiving, and I'm getting ready to roll out of here pretty soon myself. But I just wanted to do this broadcast and just encourage people when they go crazy on their shopping to think a little bit about supporting local artisans and companies that make things in these United States. And if you're in another country, supporting people that make things in your country. Whenever possible, go out of your way to do that. I think it's a good thing. And I think a lot of the items that are made in China these days that are imported to the U.S. are kind of junky. I wouldn't want to have them anyway. They should make turkey-flavored potato chips for the trolls. I'm here trying to relax a little bit. Love your Bitcoin and USA pens. Strong hand. You got to have a strong hand during these bear markets, right? Get a little bear market going on here. You got to have a strong hand and hold. Hold, hold, hold. Let's check the time. Time check. There's a time check for you. Solid 18 karat gold with a 9F quartz movement. Grand Seiko. So there you go. So what do you all think? Are you all going to buy some high-end clothing items and get some real good deals on it? Going to get a deal? What are you going to do? Let's see what people say in the chat. Let's see if anybody says they're going to get a deal. A special juice with a bunch of like chia seeds in it and stuff. Okay. We don't have many questions coming in. For sure. There you go. And, we had a programmer in here that said, well, we just wear hoodies and sweatpants and stuff. And, here's the thing. You can wear a really nice shirt and roll the sleeves up and wear it with khakis with an open collar. And you just bring your level up a bit. You don't have to only thrift store hunting from now on. Well, there you go. You don't have to go all the way. You don't have to wear a suit and tie and top coat and the whole thing. You can just go a couple notches over what the other slime balls are doing, right? So that you stand out a little bit. And if you buy the right stuff, it's real comfortable too. Especially my Cashmere sport coats. I mean, those are just a joy to wear. This is the Harris Tweed. This is okay, and it's very durable and it's warm and all that. But you wear one of the Cashmere sport coats, and it's like amazing. Okay. About the quartz dress watch. Well, it depends on whether you need something like that or not. If you can get by with a sport watch all the time because of the way you dress, if you don't wear, dress shirts and have to get it under the cuff and all that, then, it's not really needed. But in some situations, it's really a better way to go. I saw somebody yesterday wearing a suit, and they had a big, it might have been a Submariner. I don't think so. I think it was something else. But anyway, it was pushing on of course, I've got my shirt rolled up, right? But their cuff, it was pushing on the cuff and wrinkling it. And the watch was down below the bone. I can't even hardly get this one over my bone. But it was down like this. And it really looked bad. I mean, it just looked bad. Sometimes you want a more elegant watch on your wrist, I think. I've asked a question previously about if you handled a GS chrono and what you thought of the large pushers. The pushers aren't the problem for me on that. It's the thickness. That watch is a little bit too thick. This one is 14 millimeters, and because of the way the case back is cupped, it does pretty nice on my wrist. You can see that side view there. It doesn't look overly chunky on the wrist. That chrono is even a little thicker than this. And I just think that's pushing it a little bit too far. Now, if I needed a chronograph, I would certainly buy it over a Rolex. I mean, it's a far superior chronograph in every respect over the Daytona. But I don't need a chronograph, and so I don't need that extra thickness. And this watch has not only has the micro adjustments like that chronograph I think it does, but this also has the extension bracelet. which really comes in handy. So, Bob, don't make such a stupid comment in the likes of Pedro. The Gold 9F is amazing. Yeah, it is. It's pretty amazing. I like, okay, because of my mechanical interest, yes. Craig, have you heard of Strap Code? You can buy premium. Absolutely. I've seen their stuff. I mean, I haven't seen it in person, but yeah, I think they make some really good stuff. Craig, which USA-made luxury items are the best bang for the buck? Excuse me. For example, let's say you went to a thrift store. In the U.S., they have Goodwill, they have Salvation Army, they have these different thrift stores. Some of them are chains and some of them are independents. And around the Washington, D.C. metro area, we have quite a few because this is a very affluent area, so a lot of people donate stuff. Let's say you wandered into one of those and they had a whole bunch of sport coats in a row. They usually organize stuff by category, right? And they had a whole bunch of sport coats and they had them by size. And they had a section that was your size. Let's say you wear a 40 regular sport coat, right? They had a whole section of them. And you looked through every single one of them. And you got lucky. Let's say you found 2 or 3 that were Cashmere, that were high-end, that cost like maybe $2,500, maybe $3,000 new, maybe even $5,000 new, depending on how high-end. Those can be really pricey, right? And they fit you like a glove. You took it off the rack, you put it on, they just fit you like a glove. And they were in mint condition, just absolutely stunning condition. No moth holes, no nothing, just no odor, just mint condition. I'm just putting a hypothetical out here now. And let's say all the coats in that row, including the JCPenney 100% polyester ones, were all priced $9 each. Flat price. Doesn't matter which one you grab. They're all $9. Well, let's say there were 3 of those Cashmere ones that were donated by the same guy that were high-end and they fit you like a glove. You buy all 3. Spend $30. I would say that's a hell of a buy. What do you think? What do you all think about that? That was me, Craig. It really depends on your workplace. We value your work output over your looks. Fine, that's fine, but that doesn't mean you have to look like a slob. You can still wear Bill's khakis. You can wear a nice, well-tailored shirt, 100% cotton, pinpoint Oxford, long staple, Egyptian cotton shirt that feels real comfortable, almost feels like silk. The fabric is so nice. Roll the sleeves up, have the open collar. Look like you've got a little bit of class, man. Let the other people dress like slobs. You can still do your work. You're still going to be comfortable. I can be comfortable in a pair of Bill's khakis and a nice cotton shirt with a nice T-shirt underneath it. I can be very comfortable in that. I don't have to wear sweatpants and a hoodie all the time. I mean, sometimes it's fine. Okay, I mean, I get it. I get that. But sometimes some doors will open for you if you take it up a little level or two. That's all I'm saying. And the chicks dig it, man. Chicks dig it. What that gentleman Mark from Long Island watch? Was that gentleman Mark from Long Island watch by any chance? Not sure what you mean, what you're referring to. There are many high-level employees pulling in $1 million plus per year that wear shirts, T-shirts to work. They're incredibly smart and add a ton of value to the company. Fine. But they still don't have to dress like slobs. That's all I'm saying. How dare you compare me to Pedro? Can you tell me why you choose the GS Diver over the Snowflake except for the class? Because I do believe that you are more on the dressy side. Okay. No, I don't. I wouldn't say I'm more on the dressy side. For example, the way I'm dressed right now, I wouldn't call that dressy. I mean, this is just relatively casual. And I've got the diver's watch on right now. Here's the main reason. It's very simple. A lot of times I like to go without my reading glasses. Maybe I have them nearby, maybe they're wherever, but they're just not on my head, right? And the Snowflake, in certain lighting conditions, I would look and I couldn't really read the time without my reading glasses. This, no matter what, I can look at it right now and I can read it fine. And even if it's in lower lighting conditions, I can read it fine. Even at night, with the lume is so good on this, I can read it, okay? So really, that's the primary reason, is the legibility for a guy like me with older eyes. Now, with you have younger eyes, it's not an issue. You're 30 years old and your eyes are great. The Snowflake is gorgeous. But don't discount that problem with the lack of micro adjustments and the lack of the extension bracelet. Those two things also on this watch come in very handy. And I have used the bezel to time some things from time to time. So there's a lot of little things there that are going on. And remember, I've got this puppy for when I need something to go underneath a shirt cuff. I can put that on. So basically, any time that I don't need the dress watch, which is most of the time, I'm wearing the diver. And so for me, that's a good rotation. I hope that answers that question. I'm familiar with thrift stores. I hear that where they found the last person to be president, I think his name was Obama. I don't know if did he hang out at thrift stores? It's a word of caution, friend. Okay, not sure what that means. He has a hard time reading his watches without his glasses. The diver is more readable. Yes, exactly. Polyester is actually plastic. I hear you. Hey, Craig, would you auction off your gold G-Shock? I don't have a gold G-Shock. It's not gold. My old broken G-Shock. The pen and watch look amazing together. Yeah, they do. Yes, I use the diving bezel a lot too for parking time, for example. Yeah, it comes in handy. And I like this watch. I think it's a good looking watch. I have no real qualms with this watch. Some people say it looks too big and all that. I don't think it looks too big. I think it looks okay on my wrist. I like the 22 millimeter, the wider bracelet. The Rolex has a 20 millimeter. And because this is so light, because it's titanium, it's super comfortable on wrist. I half the time have to look to make sure that I still have it on my wrist. It's that comfortable. I'm not exaggerating that. Cigar check. Yeah, I don't smoke cigars. I don't have cigars, Craig. Favorite luxury pens? DuPont. Mine always right, fine. Now for day-to-day use, I use Fisher Space Pens, and I've got reviews on them on my channel. Fisher Space Pens are fantastic in that no matter what, they will always write. No matter what, they will never dry up or anything like that. They're always going to write. Now, occasionally you'll get a little glob of ink will come out of them because of the fact that it's pressurized ink, and the ink is very gooey, and so you'll get a little glob on your paper. So for anything really important, you may not want to use them. You might want to use the DuPont, writes perfect all the time. And they've done something with those cartridges also where they don't tend to dry up. They'll tend to go for years and years without having a problem. So I really do like the DuPont. It works great. Would you consider a tactical pen for everyday carry? I have one. kind of large. I don't carry it. I just don't. But yes, I think it might not be a bad idea, depending on where you are and what you're, how risky the locations are that you go to. What's with watch collectors also collecting luxury pens? Well, accessories. I think, whatever accessories you have are important. A money clip, a wallet, anything you carry, anything that people see. I think details matter. I think that in business relationships and so forth, people that respect details, people that are on time for meetings, people that are prepared, operate under the 5P principle. Proper planning prevents poor performance. Okay? And that goes for your gear and having the correct gear and having your gear organized and having it be functional. Your everyday carry is part of your gear. Happy Thanksgiving. Plans for Christmas. Nothing spectacular this season. This is kind of my off season. I'm from Detroit. We need more than a tactical pen here. I hear you. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you might need a crew. You need to educate people about when it's appropriate to go sockless. If you don't, I will. Back in the day, we used to wear Sperry topsiders all the time and like without socks, and it was cool and hip and all that. And of course, the Gucci loafers, you'd wear them without socks, but I stopped doing that. I like wearing socks. I like the comfort of them. And I don't like the idea of sweating right inside the liner of your shoe and, it might start smelling and all those kind of nasty things. So I generally wear socks most of the time. Of course, if I go to the beach, I don't. Or if I'm playing volleyball, we play barefoot. So we don't wear shoes or socks. So that's it. Beach, it's appropriate to be sockless because the socks will just get full of sand. It's just not a good thing. So, and a lot of times I'll wear Crocs to the beach. That's the only time I wear Crocs because you can just rinse them out. How did you learn about GS in the middle of the crowded Swiss brands, Jeff? I'm trying to remember how I ended up with the SBDC 007, the Shogun. I think this was like 4 years ago or something. You can look at my reviews on my channel and see the date. Dates are fuzzy to me, but basically I did a review on my Gold Date 8, and it got a lot of views. It got like 500,000 views or something. One of my most popular videos on up to that date. I think it was that kind of view count. It was a lot of views, okay? And so the lady that ran shoppinginjapan.net contacted me because she saw that video. And she challenged me to do a review on the SBDC 007, the Shogun. She said she thought that I would really like it based on some of the things I said. And so she sent me one. And my policy is if somebody sends me something for review, if I like it, I will review it. If I don't like it, I do nothing. Either way, they don't get it back. So she's taking a risk by sending it to me thinking that I will like it. And I did like it. I really like that watch. The only reason I ultimately got rid of it is it wasn't as accurate as I would want it to be. Everything else about it was fantastic. But here's the thing. For 2 years, I wore that watch. I did a series of videos on it. One of those videos got like 700,000 views. And while I was kind of doing research about that watch and involved with that watch, I stumbled across a video by Arizona Fine Time showing off the Grand Seiko diver, as a matter of fact. And I was intrigued. But that was like 4 years ago. And I never did anything about it because the nearest dealer was a couple of hours away at the time. And so I didn't bother to go look at them. I didn't bother to do anything. And then about 6 months ago, I learned that Steve at Little Treasury Jewelers in Gambrills, Maryland, that's about an hour and a half from me here, that he had Grand Seikos. He was a Grand Seiko dealer. I guess I learned about him on some video or some search or something. I don't know. Somehow it came into my radar screen. And so I said, well, I'm going to go over and take a look at these things. And I went over, and of course the rest is history. I left with the diver's watch, and Steve's a great guy, and I've done a number of videos, and I'm just really super impressed with this watch. I mean, I can't tell you how impressed I am with this watch. Let's see what else we got here. He opened his tofu packet, and there was a Seiko advertisement under the label. Renting Crocs. Isn't that a recipe for foot fungus? No, I didn't say I rent them. I said I use them when I'm at the beach. I own my Crocs. But yeah, I think if you washed them out real good, even if you did get them from somebody, you can clean them out. I don't think you'd have a problem with that. But anyway. He's on a strict red meat diet. There you go. Okay, you can't eat steak and own a Seiko. Okay, he does not own a Seiko. He owns a Grand Seiko. There we go. Gotta run, fellas. Have a nice Thanksgiving. Okay, yes. Roast beef sub from Hoffman's Market. Oh man, they are killer subs. You look like Eric Honecker, and no, I'm no troll. There you go. I've modded my Seiko to have a loomed 12-hour bezel because I fly a lot in the continental U.S., and it's super easy and legible to read 2 time regions on the fly. Since I'm not a pilot, I didn't opt for the 24-hour GMT bezel. Got it. Okay. If you had to choose other watch brands than GS, which brands would you consider? Just Rolex? I don't think there'd be a reason to buy something other than a Rolex, and maybe an Omega. I'm gonna take a look at the Omegas because Steve got a bunch of them in. He's now an Omega dealer. It's official. He got a bunch of them in. So next time I go there, I'm going to take a really close look at the Omegas because I understand they've really upped their game. And so that might be something to consider. I will keep you all posted on that. Other than that, Rolex, I think, would be the way I would go. Explorer 1, absolutely Explorer 1. It's fantastic. Explorer 1 is fantastic. Okay, so how many of you all are going to save some searches on eBay and see if you can snag some really high-end clothing items at a deal? Let's see, depends on how poor you are, but a Lang along with Patek are good options. Yeah, I find those watches to be, more style than substance. I don't think I really need that sort of thing. But I mean, if I wanted to spend a lot of money on a dress watch, yeah, I'd buy a Patek. I would. But I'm really pleased with the thing about the 9F, this unit here, is I can just pick it up and put it on my wrist. I don't have to set the time. I don't have to wind it. I don't have to do anything. It can sit for a week, and then I could take it and put it on my wrist, and it's good to go. To me, that's a huge advantage. And guess what? People are not going to look at the second hand and even know it's a quartz. People don't look that close at your watch. At least most people don't, right? And even if they do, I don't care what they think. Oh, it's a quartz, the heck with them. They don't realize it's the best quartz ever made, and it's all that in a bag of chips, then that's their problem. I just like an elegant-looking watch on my wrist in a dress situation. Wallachs is best in marketing. Yeah, they're good in marketing. Bob will explain it to you. Okay. I would never wear another man's clothing. Why not, Bob? Let's say you buy a really nice cashmere sport coat in mint condition, and it fits you perfect. Take it and have it cleaned if you're concerned. Take it and have it cleaned. You think that when you go in a store and you buy something, you don't think somebody else might have tried it on? I think you might want to rethink that whole thing. If you can get like a $3,000 sport coat for $10, now you have to really examine it. You have to make sure that it's all that in a bag of chips. I'm not saying buy some worn out piece of crap. I'm saying buy something that is in mint condition, and save a ton of money is what I'm saying. Bob, you'd be a fool to not make made in the USA clothing. Who cares if some dead guy wore it once or twice in his life? Well, there you go. Good point. Craig, the thing about Lang and Patek are they offer more complex mechanical watching, including perpetual counters and merit repeaters. Yeah, but I don't need any of that stuff. I buy watches to use, and I really don't need that stuff. I'm not a collector, and I'm not an investor in watches. I invest in other things that are real investments. Off-brand bag of chips. They're the best in a lot of things, actually. I guess that is why they are so famous and expensive. Are you talking about Patek? I mean, they don't make anything as nice as this. They don't make anything that keeps time like this. They don't make anything as rugged as this. They don't make anything that'll do everything this watch will do that's as comfortable on wrist as this. So, yeah, this watch is really all that. Let me tell you, it's all that. That's 40 years of experience wearing high-end watches telling you this is all that. Let's see. Alan Edmonds, now starting to become lesser USA brand pity, but I got mine. Yeah, what you have to do with any of these brands is you have to, sometimes you have no choice, but you've got to buy vintage because some of them have, gone overseas and have cheapened their name. I think even some of the Burberry stuff is not made in England now. I mean, they've all cheapened their brands, but that doesn't mean you can't find the stuff if you know what you're looking for. And if you go vintage, then you can get a deal. Who cares about complex watches? GF's always a clean movement that will last forever. Well, there you go. Good point. Hi, Craig. Can you do a basic finance and investment video? I'm sure a lot of people would appreciate it. There are liabilities involved in doing that kind of thing. I could get sued. What I would recommend that people do if they're really concerned with getting their financial house in order is follow Dave Ramsey on all social media. And he puts a lot of his stuff on YouTube. A lot of his videos are on YouTube that deal with different issues. The biggest problem most people have with saving and investing is they don't get started. They keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And they just don't do it. And he recommends that you save and invest 15% of your income. This is assuming you're out of debt. First step one is get out of debt, okay? Have no debt, period, including your house. Pay the damn thing off, right? You don't get rich by making other people rich. So let's assume you have no debt, then invest at least 15% of your income in good, solid investments. Just buy some mutual funds with long track records, of performance, and just keep socking money away. And if you're eligible for a Roth IRA, max it out every year. Max that Roth IRA out every year. If you're young, this goes for if you're like 35 years of age or younger, the Roth is a really good idea. This is in the U.S. now. I don't know who Gordon Ramsay is. But anyway, that's the biggest problem most people have is they just don't get started. They keep putting it off. Oh, I'll invest later. So what I do is January 1, every year, when January rolls around, I max out my IRA, my Roth, and then I put, 15%. If that doesn't meet 15%. And by the way, if you're over a certain income, you have to do what's called a backdoor Roth, and you can Google that, and your financial advisor can tell you how to do it. So I've been doing a backdoor Roth. You can do that. And then max out any other retirement accounts you have until you reach 15%. And so if you do that every year, then you'll build up a big nest egg. And of course, I invest in real estate also, so I like to be diversified. What do you think about Brooks Brothers? Brooks Brothers made some really good stuff. I've got some great Brooks Brothers shirts. Again, the older ones were made in the USA, and their suits and all were made in the USA. And so I don't know about now. I think some of their stuff is made overseas now, but you can find some really good Brooks Brothers stuff. Absolutely you can. Bob, are you out of your freaking mind? GS is the best watch on the market. That's it. Well, there you go. If you're poor, I feel bad for you. Want to make my day? Say hello, France. Oh, I just said hello, France. There you go. So yeah, I mean, hey, Craig, in my opinion, the most a man can wear is a watch and cufflinks. Anything beyond that is too much. Okay, so here's the deal with accessories. This is what I would recommend. Let's go with ideal situation. Ideal situation. Let's say you're dressed. Let's say you're wearing a suit, okay, and you're going to a business meeting. I would have a gold watch on, whether that be a gold Rolex, a gold Patek Philippe, this watch here. I would have a nice DuPont pen, also gold, matching the watch. I would have, if I had French cuffs on, I would have 18 karat gold cufflinks to match the watch that are relatively simple, not complicated. Maybe my initials on them, but just something relatively simple, but an 18 karat gold, same color as the watch, yellow gold. I would have a nicely done alligator belt with a also 18 karat gold buckle, also elegant. It can be polished brass if you don't want to go for the gold, but something nice. I'll give you an example. I'll go grab a belt real quick just so I can show you. Oh boy, here we go. All right, so this is a alligator belt from Saks Fifth Avenue, and it's only about a little over an inch, maybe an inch and an eighth or whatever. So this would be very nice to wear with a suit, and it's going to go nicely with the with these other items. Got kind of hard to. the other items there. So, all right, so you have a nice belt, you have a nice watch, you have a nice pen. Trying to think what else. Well, of course, in your pocket, you've got a nice gold money clip that matches as well, in case you have to pull out your money and pay for something. That all matches. I think that would be it. I think you'd be set. So I think that's all I can think of right now. Of course, you have nice shoes on, you know. With all that gold, aren't you afraid would abduct you? I don't travel in dangerous areas that often. If I do, I take security measures. Okay, guys, slow down. It's not the topic. Craig, what is your impression of someone wearing a two-tone watch? Does it give you the sleazy used car salesman vibe? No, I mean, a two-tone Datejust or something like that, I think is fine. Back in the day, we used to always either go all steel or all gold. We didn't really like the in-between type thing. A tie pen, I don't think I would do the tie pen thing, but you could. It would have to be 18 karat gold, also matching everything. But no, I don't think it's necessary. Jeff Biss, hey buddy, you are the one that impressed yourself on us. If you do not love the U.S. of A., get the heck out of the street. Okay. No tie pen. There you go. Carry a little leather or vinyl bound pocket notebook. Yeah, it wouldn't be vinyl. It would definitely be leather if I was going to carry something like that. I'm married with an American woman. Okay. Good luck with all that. Okay. So we're going to go a little longer, and then we're going to wrap this puppy up. But hopefully we got the message across that you can buy high-end, quality clothing items, even if you're on a budget, and you can dress sharp, and have fun and be comfortable while you're doing it. You can be comfortable. There you go. Let's do one more time check, and then I'll check comments one more time. Yeah, a little moleskin notebook. You can go with that. Remember when those slim cross 18 karat gold pen and pencil sets were all the rage? Yeah, I didn't buy them even back then. I gave a few as gifts here and there, but I stuck with the DuPont pens. I thought they were better and wrote better. What about rings for men? Definitely no bracelet. Yeah, maybe if you want to wear like an 18 karat gold wedding band to match everything, if you're married, that'd be fine. But I don't like to go with the other rings. Maybe a pinky ring, maybe, but no, I don't do that. Because first of all, I'm a photographer and I don't like to have a bunch of rings on my fingers hitting the camera and stuff. But other than that, I don't see a need for it. I melted down my class ring. That's part of the gold from that was what went into my money clip when I had it made. I took some gold jewelry that I wasn't wearing and had it melted and made into that money clip. When will you release your own line of Dakamaka pillows? I'm not sure what that means. Cross prints were just too darn thin. Yeah, they're a little thin. I showed yesterday, I've got two DuPont pens. One's thicker and one's thin like that. I used to like the thinner one, but now I like the thicker one. Craig, is your wife cooking the turkey or are you warming a microwave dinner for Thanksgiving? I'm visiting some friends. This is the off year for the family get-together. We do it every other year. So I'm not going down to North Carolina. Thank goodness I don't have to drive in all the traffic and all that. So I'm visiting with some friends. Craig, you could talk about the price of fish, and I'd still like to listen to your show. Looking tight today, Craig. There you go. And glasses, gold or plastic? That's a good question. I think that you could get by with like a nice tortoiseshell glasses. If you're wearing everything as 18 karat gold, I'd probably wear like tortoiseshell or something like that. Or, of course, you could wear gold. You could go that way. Yeah, some really elegant gold. I'm still in denial about the eyeglasses thing. I've been using the reading glasses, and my distance vision is still pretty good. But at some point, I'm going to have to bite the bullet and actually get some real glasses, and I'm not looking forward to it, but probably going to have to go that route. I usually just wear reading glasses when I'm working at the computer doing stuff like this, and usually they're not on. Because, see, when I'm doing my photography, it has a Doppler adjustment, right? So you adjust it, and everything's fine. You don't need the glasses. So there's that. You could, okay, say, looking, okay, glasses, plastic, okay. All right, well, I think we're going to wrap, unless anybody has any additional questions, we'll wrap up. And by the way, I used to wear the bow ties a lot, because back when I was appraising cars, you had a problem. You know, if you were wearing a tie, and you were checking out an engine or something like that, and you were leaning over and that tie accidentally got caught in something, you could really have a problem, right? And so I started wearing bow ties then, and I wore them all the time. And then I stopped wearing them and just went open collar. And then for other dress times, I'd wear a regular tie. And so it's been years since I've worn these things. And I had to fumble with it a little bit this time to tie it halfway properly. You kind of forget that after a little while. But they do come in handy sometimes. And by the way, they used to use bow ties was how they held the shirt collar together, because back in the day, they didn't have any buttons on the shirt. So you had to use like a pin or something, or then somebody came up with the concept of the bow tie. And so that's how they held their shirt collar together. Imagine that. Do you have an exquisitely dressed partner? There's not so many out there like you. Depends on the circles that you hang in. Don't let that tie catch the Vambo. There you go. And it's funny, if you watch like any of these, like a lot of these TV shows, like I was watching last night, I have Netflix subscription, and I was watching a little bit of the House of Cards, the last season of House of Cards, and you watch a lot of those people in those shows, they dress nice. A lot of people dress nice. So it's still a thing in certain circles to actually dress halfway decent. Can you imagine that? I think you should look into Doxa and Squale dive watches. Amazing quality. Well, there you go. Tell you what, it'd be hard to beat this puppy right here. This thing is freaking amazing. All right, well, we're going to wrap. I thank you all for watching on this wonderful Thanksgiving Day, and you all go out to the festivities that you're going out to and have a good time, but drive careful. There's going to be a lot of people on the road and a lot of potential issues out there, so be careful. Thanks again, everybody.